Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Rebellious Unknown, where today we are going to make the unknown known because we are talking about a very fun topic. I'm Lynn Hurley, but you guys know that because I know all of you that are here right now. So, hey, how are you? Let's say a quick hi to everyone that's here. Thank you guys so much for joining me bright and early this morning. Let's see. Hey, Hellfire, how are you? Got the pictures. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. It's a lot. Hey, Bradley, how's it going? Nice to see you. Hi, Chris. How are you? Hey, Tim. Nice to see you here. Let's see. Will Carr is here. He is in the building, everyone. And other places. I saw the chat. Yes, I did. Okay, let's see. I know we had other people coming in. Hey, Cindy, how's it going? How are you guys? Hey, Dorothy. Little Sarah's making an appearance, saying hi to everybody. She was climbing all over me. Oh, look at that. Who's the star of the show? Okay, hopefully she will just go over here. Oh, so sorry. I gotta move my phone. She plays with it. She thinks it's great. Great fun. Hey, XJ. Been waiting all week for this show. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I had a lot of fun making it. And honestly, guys, there's so much. I had several hours worth of media that I had recorded that I still had to go through. So we might have to do a second part two, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. David Hurley is in the house. He's here, but he is working. Just so everyone knows, he is here, but he is working. Typical Skeptic podcast. Hey, how are you? So nice to see you. Let's see. Let's see. Did I get everybody? Okay, I think I did, but if I did not, hi, how are you? Thank you for being here. So nice to see you all. So this is going to be a fun morning. Okay. So we've got two things that I'm going to show you. We are going to, oh, hey, David Martin. Okay, I got to stop looking at the chat because I'll keep saying hi to everybody as they're coming in. So today we're going to talk about, is the government and the media influencing the way you think about Donald Trump? Spoiler alert, yes, he is. And for those of you that say, no, he's not, I just don't like him. Okay, you got it. No, that's true. You may not. You may not. We all have our own personal preferences, right? But I'm going to show you how I do believe they are trying to influence the way that you think about Donald Trump. And specifically, we're going to be talking sort of about Donald Trump overall, but we're also going to be talking about specific things he has said recently that the media has jumped all over. Do any of you guys know what I'm talking about? Have any of you seen this? Anybody know where this is going? Um, it's an interesting one, but I made a little compilation and there's another group, Grabian, who are really interesting. You can follow them on X or Twitter. Oh, I'm hoping the dog isn't going to bark because something just made noise. It's okay. So let me play that video now in case she starts going. I'm going to play the one that I made first, and then we'll go into the other one and we'll start discussing more. Okay, let's see. Oh, no. Okay, so sorry, guys. Hold on. Was that muted pretty much the whole time? Awesome. Okay. Hold on, let me start that over for you again. So sorry. Ay. All right, let's try this again. Here we go. You got to see it. You were probably guessing, what were they saying? Well, now you're going to get to find out.
It's really important with this guy. It's important to, let's say, metaphorically jam the sharpened stick of knowledge into the soft inner thigh of your mind and just grind it around a little bit to try to reawaken the horror of what our country would be like if this hate-filled dingus and the soulless goons ever got a hold of power again. But Donald Trump is a fascist.
And let me try to turn it up.
Because according to the Washington Post, Trump has long toyed with the language of fascists, but is now echoing dictators like Hitler and Mussolini. Donald Trump isn't just echoing the words of Hitler and Mussolini by saying he will root out vermin from within. He's planning real action to follow in their footsteps. Echoing the rhetoric of Adolf Hitler, we encourage and are encouraged by so much media continuing to elevate just how dangerous this could be for American democracy.
Then when you face something that really is dire, like we are facing today with respect to Donald Trump and his efforts to unravel the republic.
If a person is a member of
Is that
Congress
better?
and sworn an oath to defend the Constitution, can they defend the Constitution and also endorse Donald Trump?
No. Echoed authoritarian leaders.
And this is what the original fascists did. Hitler started talking about. So this is very dangerous rhetoric with a very precise fascist history.
Ruth, we've seen him and heard him previously mimic other Nazi propaganda.
Growing agreement and acute concern, I think, across the political spectrum about the explicitly authoritarian threat of a second Trump term.
Trump's admiration goes to the strongmen, to the dictators, to those who wield their power with impunity, who put themselves above the people they serve. It was a hallmark of dangerous totalitarian leaders. The Times spoke with historian Peter Hayes, who outlines the features of fascism. And spoiler alert, the likely 2024 GOP presidential nominee, well, he fulfills each one. If Donald Trump becomes the 2024 nominee, which seems quite likely at this point, it won't just be policy differences on the line. It will be the entire American experiment on the ballot.
I mean, every authoritarian everywhere in the world speaks the same language and proposes and promises all of these same things, and he just speaks it fluently.
If he's going to be a dictator on day one, rest assured, I know him better than almost anybody. He won't be a dictator on day two. He will be a king. He will make himself into the Führer, and he will make everybody raise their hand and salute him. Imagine what they're going to do to him. He's already told people he's going to shut down this station. He wants to jail your president's CEO. He wants to execute Joint Chief of Staff Mark Milley. He wants to, execute Mike Pence. I mean, he's got a hit list of people. He wants to throw everyone into Gitmo.
That Donald Trump would use violence to get back into office and to stay in office for life. The former president was ramping up his rhetoric on the issue with disturbing new comments. Donald Trump using a very pointed and particular phrase when talking about immigrants in New Hampshire today, one that has roots going all the way back to Nazi Germany. Then he channeled his role models as he parroted Hitler.
He's disgusting. He's dog whistling it to blame it on people from areas that don't look like us.
He is essentially paraphrasing what Adolf Hitler talked about in Mein Kampf.
And he keeps taking it one step further. The next thing we'll see, he will actually hold up Mein Kampf and say, this is my roadmap for 2024, 2025. At some point, they have to get a clear signal that this is exactly what he intends, that we have a choice in this election, and that the choice is a continued democracy or a movement to autocracy and dictatorship, a la what happened in Nazi Germany in 1932.
That it's not about politics. It was never about politics. It's that this is a deeply disturbed man, a delusional psychopath. And when she said he's unstable, absolutely, that is exactly the situation we're in and why he needs to be removed immediately, yesterday, really, because he is going to continue to get worse. And after he leaves office, he will continue to get worse. We will not see the end of him unless he's locked up.
What we have to do is talk about the future. They have placed our democracy in jeopardy. We have to make sure that it is saved and it is strong, that our flag is still there with liberty and justice for all.
Donald Trump once again used the language of 20th century authoritarians. This cannot be normalized.
Echoes of Adolf Hitler. We're in the fight for American democracy, and he's becoming more and more explicit on how he wants to take American democracy down.
And we have him using language that evokes what Adolf Hitler used to say.
Donald Trump has proven that he's on the level of Hitler and Mussolini.
Dictators and strong-arm people. I think that this is what the real test for the Democrats is to not make it about them. Have everyone put a mirror in front of them and say, is this who I am? Am I a racist? And am I one that breathes in fascism?
Okay, sorry about that being muted at the beginning, guys, but we got there. Okay, so that was one that I just put together. And like I said, I had hours more media to go through where they're saying the exact same things. It's crazy. So hold that in your mind, because when we're doing the discussions, we're going to be talking a lot about the fascist comments, right, about how they're comparing him to Adolf Hitler. But I also want to show you, and thank you so much, Marvin, for the super chat. Thank you. I will go through all of those at the end because I do want to give you guys a shout out because I do appreciate those so much. But I just wanted to say hi and thank you because I did see that pop up. So this is another one. Let me pull it up that I want to show you. That is on X. I think Tom Elliott posted it, but I think he's the founder of Grabian, but they did a compilation of a bunch of different things too. And I just want to show you so you guys can really get a good idea of what's going on here. So hold on, let me pull this up for you. See if I can make it big. Okay. Let's double check. Okay. Let me play that.
What would a second Donald Trump term look like?
Well, he cannot be the next president. Because if he is,
you can't imagine the things that he's going to do. Mexico, Canada. We can't go to Canada because eventually Canada will become annexed to America.
And shoot visitors to the White House. Yeah, that means he can shoot the first lady.
We're going to see violence, the likes of which we didn't even see on January 6th.
Make it illegal to run against him, to throw his opponents in jail, to shut down the media.
He will make himself into the Fuhrer, and he will make everybody raise their hand and salute him.
Using martial law against the American people.
Terminate the Constitution.
To rewrite the Constitution.
Create mass internment camps.
Throw everyone into Gitmo.
Might be sent to jail, or their rights might be suppressed, especially minority groups in society.
You might have any number of things happen to you and your family.
Every one of us, our freedom, our liberty, none of us is safe.
It's going to have people around him executing against an enemy's list.
Assassinate generals.
Ordering troops to attack American citizens.
Trump's very well-armed and extremist base will try to kill people.
He's going to basically burn the house down.
He will unravel the institutions of our democracy.
Draw similarities between Mussolini and Hitler.
Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini.
Makes Donald Trump even more dangerous.
He wants to take away your vote. Senate and the House are immediately going to be paralyzed.
People will begin in their minds to censor themselves. They might say, well, maybe I shouldn't say this.
This is the end of democracy. Yeah.
I think that could be the end of our democracy.
But democracy is dead if Trump is reelected.
Cozy up to Putin that democracy will be at risk.
The absolute destruction of the Justice Department as we know it.
The Justice Department could be entirely transformed.
I am really concerned about that.
Every person who was associated with the attempted coup elevated in the administration.
If he's reelected, he will curb transgender rights.
And the rule of law.
Arrest political opponents. To persecute, not prosecute, but persecute his enemies.
Take a wrecking ball to the rule of law.
He's going to make the law. Everyone else will have to follow.
A vote for Donald Trump may mean the last election that you ever get to vote in.
To go after the independent and free parts of American civic life.
He would tear down our institutions.
Urge the government
of employees.
Department by department effort to weaponize the powers of the government.
To use the military to quash protests.
Ridding the government of all democratic safeguards.
Junking American democracy as we have always known it.
That he would try to stay in office beyond a second term. That he would never leave office. There's no question. Trump is reelected, he won't leave.
Donald Trump will never leave office voluntarily.
And what that means is that everybody who wants us to remain a republic has to put every other thing aside and work together urgently right now to stop that from happening.
Okay, thank you so much, Grabian, for that. Like I said, if you guys want to see them on X, go follow them. Go follow Tom Elliott. They do excerpts and cuts from the media all day long, so you'll get to see all kinds of really good things there. Okay, so yeah, you can see it's almost like they all follow the same script, right? They're all saying the same words, comparing them to the same people. But is it true? Is any of it true? You would think that Trump was never in office before, the way they talk about how he's going to completely destroy the country. He's going to be murdering people. It's craziness. Like, it's a little bit of craziness. You sit back and you're just like, what is going on with these people? But I was curious. So Donald Trump had a rally over in New Hampshire over the past weekend. And he again talked about, he used the phrase poisoning the blood of America. And this is one of those things that they're all up in arms about, because they're comparing it to Nazi Germany and to Hitler specifically. And so I was curious, like, okay, is that actually true? Is that true? Because, I don't know about you guys, but my kids will come to me and they'll say things like, oh my gosh, you're never going to believe what I heard about this person or that person, or did you hear about this or that? And I'm like, okay, well, where did you hear that? The internet? Yeah. Okay. What were the sources? Did you check the sources? It's so important. We have to check the sources, but unfortunately, and apparently even our media does not check the sources. So I found a really great article that Newsweek wrote actually about this very thing. And so I'm going to pull it up and we're going to go through it together, because they actually went and checked the sources. So we're going to find out whether or not Hitler actually did say these things. So let's see. All right, let me make sure that is pulled up for you guys, because I am not trusting myself today. Hold on a second. Let me adjust this so I can be on there with you too. There we are. Okay. So fact checked, is Donald Trump Adolf Hitler viral quote comparison accurate? So here we go. You know what? Let's play this really quick too, so you guys can hear what everybody is all up in arms about.
We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, that lie and steal and cheat on elections, and will do anything possible. They'll do anything, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America.
Let me stop this before it goes again. Nope. Pause. Por favor. What did I do? Okay. Hold on. I'm just going to, I think it's okay. It looks like it's muted. So, okay. So here we go. They are talking about this. So that is one of the things that everybody is kind of all up in arms about, where he used the term vermin. Is vermin and poisoning the blood of our country. Those are the two kind of big things right now that the media is all up in arms about, and comparing him to Adolf Hitler, right? Adolf Hitler is what we all see. Fascist, dictator, Adolf Hitler. Everything they're all saying. And so Newsweek looked into this, and they're saying, yep, they're comparing him between the former president and Nazi leader Adolf Hitler. And one viral social media post attempted to demonstrate the similarity explicitly, positioning Trump's words next to quotes and paraphrased statements attributed to Hitler. So here we go. Lovely picture of the Donald. Let's find. I know they had. Here it is. Okay, so Midas Touch posted this on X and said, "This is not merely a coincidence. It is deliberate. We must not sit idly by as fascism rears its ugly head in America. Share this image far and wide so everyone you know understands the stakes of the 2024 election." Trump echoes Hitler's words on the campaign trail, and you can see he did there. He quoted them Adolf Hitler, I will get rid of the communist vermin. Trump, I will get rid of the communist vermin. Adolf Hitler, I will take care of the enemy within. Trump, I will take care of the threat from within. Jews and migrants are poisoning Aryan blood. That was Hitler. Migrants are poisoning the blood of our country. So he's doing a direct comparison. So Newsweek said, okay, wait a second. We're going to take a look and see if we can find these quotes from Adolf Hitler and compare them to exactly what Trump said. So they're saying during the speech in Claremont, New Hampshire, which was this past weekend, I believe, Trump attacked multiple political groups, including communists, saying, on Veterans Day, we pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists. Okay, so this was not last weekend. Marxists, I think he did it again this past weekend. Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country that lie and steal and cheat on elections. They'll do anything, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and to destroy the American dream. And they're saying how he repeated some of these words on the Truth Social post. The threat from outside forces is far less sinister, dangerous, and grave than the threat from within. Despite the hatred and anger of the radical left lunatics who want to destroy our country, we will make America great again. And they said MSNBC host Joe Scarborough accused Trump on Monday of going full on Hitler, which, I mean, we saw plenty of the media commentators said. And so they're like, okay, well, let's just take a look. Let's see what actually happened here. And they're talking about how communists were banned from political office during Hitler's rule, and that within the era that Hitler rose to power, communism was a much bigger threat to Germany than, well, they're claiming than it is here now. Though some might argue that the Democratic Party is going in a somewhat communist vein. So we'll see. But okay. So we'll say communists, bigger threat to Hitler than they are now. And Hitler was quoted, the acclaimed biography, Hitler. He was quoted in 1942 referring to inferior races as vermin. Nature is cruel, therefore we are also entitled to be cruel, he said. When I send the flower of German youth into the steel hail of the next war without feeling the slightest regret over the precious German blood that is being spilled, should I not also have the right to eliminate millions of an inferior race that multiplies like vermin? Not great, right? All of us can agree, not great. Not a great thing to say. Now they're looking at, sorry, my screen is freezing up. Hold on a second. Let me try closing some of these things out. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. Page is unresponsive. You don't say. Oh, I hope it comes back because this is so good. This article is really, really good. Okay, you know what? We're going to talk for just a second because I want to see if it comes back. I'm going to try and reloading that page. And see if it comes back because it's really good. Okay, here we go. Yay. Let me just make sure you guys can still see it since I reloaded it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is, now they're looking at what Trump said. And he says, during a conversation about immigration, Trump said, I think you could go to a banana republic and pick the worst one. You're not going to see what we're witnessing now. No control whatsoever. Nobody has any idea where these people are coming from. We know they come from prisons. We know they come from mental institutions, insane asylums. We know they're terrorists. Nobody has ever seen anything like what we're witnessing right now. It's a very sad thing for our country. It's poisoning the blood of our country. It's so bad. And people are coming in with disease. People are coming with every possible thing that you can have. And so Newsweek says in Hitler's infamous tome, his autobiography, Mein Kampf, he refers to blood poisoning, but he's talking about the intermingling of Jewish communities within society. And I think he's talking more about interracial relationships. And then Hitler, Newsweek says, is far more detailed in his concept of blood poisoning compared to what Trump said. And I think that's actually really true. So you may not like how he worded it, but politicians, and including our forefathers, have used the term blood in a multitude of ways to describe any number of things. The blood of America. The blood of America runs red, right? I think Thomas Jefferson said something like the blood of patriots needs to be spilled in order to, keep us from tyranny. I'm paraphrasing. But this is not something that is really new, but they're twisting kind of the way he's saying it to make it seem like he's quoting. I mean, they are saying he's quoting Adolf Hitler when we know he's not quoting Adolf Hitler. I mean, according to this article, they're saying, no, that's not exactly what he said. Another thing that quote said was one people, one family, one glorious nation. And this is another thing that has been compared to Adolf Hitler. This was during 2018. He said, we are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And truncating Trump's quote to one glorious nation misses Trump's clear invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance as one nation under God. The slogan, one people, one realm, one leader, was widely used in Nazi propaganda from 1933 to 1945. The slogan, which in German reads Ein Volk, ein Reich, ein Führer, appeared alongside a painting of Hitler on posters spread throughout Germany during the Third Reich. While Newsweek was unable to find the slogan directly quoted by Hitler, its use in Nazi propaganda indicates his tacit endorsement of that sentiment. And so it's not the only time in recent memory that a politician has used a slogan like this. Earlier this year, the Russian government held an event in Red Square, making the first anniversary of its self-proclaimed annexation of Ukraine's. I'm just going to slaughter those words, so I'm not even going to try. They had the slogan, one country, one family, run Russia. President Biden, Joe Biden's reelection team was among those who criticized Trump's speech. Surprise, surprise. Basically, they put out a press release saying that he parroted the autocratic language of Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini, two dictators many U.S. veterans gave their lives fighting. Well, that's an interesting sentence right there, isn't it? Parroted, meaning he's saying it exactly the same way that they did, which he did not. And of course, they're going to bring in the emotional side of it. Like many U.S. veterans gave their lives fighting against these two dictators. And how dare you, how could you support this man, this autocratic dictator? So let's see. So is it very saying? Okay. I guess at one point it says basically that, they were looking for the quote, but they couldn't find it. They weren't saying it exactly the same. There were some words. So they have this ruling. It needs context. And I agree 100%. Trump and Hitler's statements are not quite the same. And there is obvious, significant context that separates these sets of quotes. That is important. However, it is true that the phrases and statements used by Trump, like vermin, poisoning the blood, and threat from within, bear a remarkable similarity to some quotations and writings attributed to Hitler. So, they're saying, yeah, he did use some of the same kind of verbiage, I suppose. We could look at it that way. But no, he didn't say things exactly the same way that Hitler did. And you have to look at the context. And so, one, he's not quoting him, which is what we heard time and time again in both of those clips that the media is saying he is quoting Adolf Hitler. He is not. He's not quoting Adolf Hitler. And they obviously did not take any context into the purview of deciding that he is now sounding like Adolf Hitler. The White House, Joe Biden, put out a statement saying he is parroting Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini. And the news media, unfortunately, ran with that without doing any research on their end, because clearly if they had, Newsweek did an article and said, yep, no, we couldn't find statements that were exactly the same. And looking at the context, it's not the same. You have to do that. And that's so important in so many things, right? It always drives me crazy. Like, yes, I have been one to say that words are important, and I do believe words are important. But what's even more important, I think, than words is context. And I have a friend who she's a biblical scholar, and she and I were talking one time about how there are so many different interpretations of the Bible. And yes, so much of it is due to bad interpretations or translations, bad translations from the original Hebrew to Greek and then to English. But the thing she said is even more important is that you cannot take a single verse in the Bible and know what it means. You have to read, she has a 1-inch rule. You have to read 1 inch above and 1 inch below. And the reason for that is because you need to know the context. One statement, one sentence isn't going to tell you what something meant. You can take one sentence from anything and make it seem like somebody is saying something, right? We need the context. You always have to have the context. And looking at the context, Trump is not saying the same things that Adolf Hitler said. He's not saying, he's not calling immigrants vermin. I've heard some of the media saying that. That's not what he said at all. In fact, I think he's talking about other politicians when he's saying that he's going to root out the vermin in our government, the enemy from within. He's not talking about immigrants coming into the country. He's talking about other corrupt politicians and government agencies. That's the enemy from within that Trump is referring to. So all of this is simply being twisted to tell you a story. And if you don't sit back and take the time to look into it, you're going to think, wow, this guy is absolutely horrible. This guy is so horrible. This guy is a total dictator. He sounds exactly like Adolf Hitler. Because why? You've heard it repeatedly over and over and over again across all of the different news agencies, different news outlets. There are articles. I did a Google search just for Donald Trump. I'm going to show you. I did it this morning. And this is what comes up. Hold on. Oh, let me pull this up. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Craziness. Okay, here we go. Again, double check. Yep. So I just did a search. You can see right here. My search was Donald Trump. That was it. And I did news. News about Donald Trump. The most profound question raised by Trump's extreme rhetoric. Trump's extreme rhetoric reminiscent of Nazi propaganda. Trump said immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Biden campaign likens comments to Hitler. This is I think she's a Republican representative or congresswoman. I'm not sure. Anyways, Trump says immigrants are poisoning the blood of the U.S. Business Insider parroted Hitler. You can see on X, there are different people talking about it here. Trump is spewing xenophobic language about immigrants. Trump drew on words similar to Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf. Donald Trump's description of immigrants who are coming to the southern border is dehumanizing and fascist rhetoric. Trump's immigrant comments are borrowed from Hitler's own writing. We know that's not true. Stop. Trump's blasted for saying immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Trump reprises dehumanizing language on undocumented immigrants, warns of invasion. Trump's rhetoric about immigrants has somehow gotten even more fascist. Republicans are excusing Trump's Hitler-esque poison the blood rhetoric. So you can see, like, it just goes on and on and on. It's absolutely crazy how people have taken this and run with it. Why have they done this? Why? Because they want you to think this about Donald Trump. They do not want Trump back in office. Why? Because Trump is talking about getting rid of all of the corruption within the government. Now, is Trump our savior? Is he, faultless? Of course not. He's human. He's made mistakes too, but he's certainly not Hitler. There was one woman in an interview, she was in the Grabian interview that I don't know if they showed it on that one or not, where she said that Donald Trump she's saying he's using the words, he's talking like fascist dictators, like Hitler and Benito Mussolini. She, of course, used those two again. And this is what she said, but he's worse because at least they had an ideology they believed in. He simply wants to look at himself in the mirror and feel proud of himself. He's worse than Hitler. And I said Mussolini. It was Hitler and Putin that she said. Hitler and Putin. He's worse than Hitler because Hitler at least had an ideology he believed in. Are you kidding me? So it's totally okay. We're going to dismiss what Hitler did because he had these insane beliefs. That's better. That's better than what Donald Trump does. Are they even hearing their own insanity at this point? I don't think they are. I think, I sit back and wonder, and I'm like, have they lied to themselves so much that they're actually starting to believe this? Probably not. I think they know exactly what they're doing, and I think they're doing it. Obviously, it's purposeful. I mean, otherwise, we wouldn't be hearing them parrot each other, right? All of the Democratic politicians, all of the different news outlets, they are literally parroting each other, saying the same thing over and over and over again. Why? Because repetition is the key to learning. And so they want to repeat the same thing over and over again, because if they drill it into your head enough, they're going to believe that you will believe it. And unfortunately, as we saw on a lot of those Twitter posts, many people do. You need to do your research. You have to fact check. We cannot be complacent. We cannot be ignorant. You have to do you have to do the work, because clearly they're not doing it for you anymore. They are working with an agenda. The news media outlets are biased. And you know what? I've seen other news anchors talking about, oh, the public is saying we're biased and they can't be trusted. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why they're saying it, because you are. You're doing it. You're showing it. We are reacting to what you are doing. So, okay. That is my spiel. I'm going to get down off my soapbox for a little bit and see what you guys are having to say. See if you guys had any questions about this. Let's see. What do you guys think about all of this? Dorothy's saying it would be good if he stated that it's the government people he's referencing, not the people fleeing from chaos. He did. He did state. He did. He talked about when he was talking about the vermin, he was prior to that discussing basically the corruption. I think he called them communist, Marxist, radical left politicians. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but Dave, for sure, he's definitely not the best orator. LOL. He simply got the right idea. No, Donald Trump and Dave and I were actually having this discussion this weekend, and I think it's really true. I said that's actually part of Donald Trump's appeal to people. I think is that he just comes right out and says it, and we were like, do you think he actually does that because that's just what he's doing? He just has a really severe case of verbal diarrhea, or is it purposeful? And I think it's purposeful. I think he knows that if he comes out and says just kind of whatever he wants to very bluntly, the last thing you're going to think is like, I think this guy's trying to manipulate us, right? So is it something on his part that he's doing? Maybe. Or maybe he just is super blunt and doesn't think about it. Also very possible. See, what is Cindy saying? I'm not a fan of Biden or Trump. I'm hoping to see a different ticket with neither of them on it. Well, I don't know, but we will see. DB Property Maintenance. Hi, by the way. Yes, they are. And you're doing the exact same thing. All of these are twists on the avoidance of the real problem. Fentanyl coming with them that's poisoning America, but no one wants to talk about that. Okay, yeah, that's true. And that is fair. And actually, Donald Trump did talk about that, didn't he? When he had that talk, he did mention fentanyl. He talked about it crossing the border. You're right. I haven't addressed that. That's a whole nother topic, but you're absolutely right on that. That is something that is has to do with what he was discussing as well. The 300 that control the world hate just one guy, Donald J. Trump. He stands between them and us. It's getting out of control. Yeah, I think it's been out of control for quite a while. Morality and humanity. What's going on worldwide is hard to watch. It is. It's a lot. It seems like it's kind of coming to a head, but I say that every year. But yeah, it's definitely tensions are running high right now, right? And that's the other thing that I think the reason that they're doing this is because it causes divisiveness in the country. And when a country divided is a country easily conquered or easily controlled. And so we have to be careful that even if we disagree with each other, and that's totally fine, and we should have discussions about it, right? We can't have people continuously just striking out on their own in violent ways to protest this or that because they're angry. I get it. People are angry. I get it. And people are prone to violence when they're angry. We are a violent species, but we need to try and be able to discuss it, right? Try all other means first. Hey, Hides and Long Grass. I do blame Trump for lifting Obama's ban on gain of function, thus leading to Fauci making a bad virus. Aside from that, Trump had a great economy and no wars were popping up. Lifting Obama's ban on gain of function. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure. Um, Trump had a great economy. No, yeah, I think I read somewhere, and again, I fact check this because I'm not 100% sure. He was the only sitting president for, I can't remember how many years, that he didn't, no wars were started. He didn't bring us into any new wars. And then his words are twisted into Trump's talking about Hitler instead of Trump talking about the thousands of ODs a days across the country is mass. Yeah, I mean, fentanyl is a big problem. It absolutely is. There are a lot of other issues too. So I also don't want to, I think I'm of the mindset of like, yep, we need to discuss fentanyl, but it's not the only problem. We have so many problems. So yeah, you're right in, everyone else, like we're all right. We're all right in our own way. But yeah, it is a problem. Agreed, 100%. But there are a lot of other problems too. I don't think they'll let him run. He's against the agenda. I'm not sure. Wait, hold on. Sure. I don't think you guys were talking about Trump there. It seems like. I think Dave Hurley mentioned Vivek, so maybe that's what you guys were talking about. Our studio says I'm biased against humans. Intergalactic Angler. If you look hard enough, you can find dirt on anyone. Beware the MSNBC and fake news. Yep. And Dorothy, in fairness, though, his entire platform is and has been drain the swamp. Absolutely. Absolutely. What did Dorothy say? A good idea should come out of all the mouth of a good person. I can't take Donald J. Trump seriously at all. Well, he has a very big personality, right? And he has this very like bombastic way of talking. And so I think that can be off-putting to some people. I am one of those that finds some of he has a really interesting sense of humor. It's very dry. And I think oftentimes when he says something and he's being humorous, other people take it very seriously. And so I think that can get him into trouble sometimes. And I'm not saying that's everything that comes out of his mouth for sure. But I do think he is very funny. A lot of the things that he says, he can say very straight faced and very dryly. And some people might take him a little too seriously. So I think it kind of goes over the head sometimes, but not everyone's cup of tea, right? It's okay. And that is okay. Ghost Dragons, hey, not everything is as it seems. Widen your eyes. Absolutely. Tim Poner Houston is saying we need a man in office, not a corrupt puppet, right? I think that was one of the appeals of Donald Trump, right? Is that he's not a politician. He's not polished. He's not, he's not diplomatic necessarily in the way he talks, but that's the appeal of him for a lot of people. Let's see. Intergalactic Angler is saying all of this is to keep our eyes away and a fix on political drama from the real problem in the Middle East that are coming to a head and will dictate the outcome of our next president. Okay. I am going to kind of slightly disagree with you on this one because wars in the Middle East have been going on for millennia. Now, I know that's not necessarily Israel and Palestine because Israel was created after World War II. So that is, been going on 80 years now or so. But in the Middle East, millennia. So I am not one that's going to get too worked up about wars in the Middle East because it's been a hotbed of wars and skirmishes for thousands of years. It has. Okay, what is Dorothy saying? A lot of people soak up the words of others as if they are gospel truth without questioning anything. That is very true. And I say question everything. Don't just question some things, question everything. And if it doesn't feel right to you, or if it seems very over the top, and like for me, comparing him to and saying he's worse than Hitler is very over the top, that automatically kind of like raises my antenna and I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to look into that because I don't know. We just had this convo the other day. Oh, good. Wars in the Middle East have been going on since the days of Moses. Absolutely. History of mankind has been to decide and conquer. Yeah, or I think you mean maybe divide and conquer. And that is true. That is absolutely true. Uh, I'd vote for a Lynn and Akashi ticket for a presidential. Well, I don't know about that. Oh my gosh, Lulu. Oh, we're having a moment. Poor thing. She has sometimes. Oh my gosh. Poor thing. Because of her little squished in nose, she sometimes has issues. It'll pass. It'll pass. Sorry, guys. You okay? Lulu snorting. Yep, is right, Chris. She knows the sound. She knows the sound well. Sorry. Okay. All's well. All's well with Lulu. She's good. Let's see. You guys are saying a lot of really great things. Ghost Dragons have been ghost in mourning. Rebellious unknown. I will keep my mouth shut on all this. Me and YouTube and Facebook have major issues. They hate me, so keep doing what you're doing. Keep this conversation going. Oh, well, hopefully not. And you're more than welcome. And I know you've been talking since then, I think. So I'm glad that you put your 2 cents in. We want to hear about it. We can all talk without triggering. Well, hopefully, right? And I get it. Some people get very passionate about these issues. Some people get, very passionate about a lot of different political issues. And it can be difficult to keep your emotions in check when it's something that you're passionate about. But I do think it's important that we try extremely hard to do so, because you can't get a lot done if you're just screaming at each other, right? It has or something. Yeah, I think it's just her nose. I don't know if it's like, what do the vets call it? Sometimes like a reverse sneeze. I'm not quite sure what it is, but sometimes it happens with her. Dorothy said, did anyone notice how the 2 parties are mirror images of light side versus the dark side, love versus fear, peace versus war? Why so much polarizing to the extremes everywhere? I am going to add on to that saying, I think that they are the appearance of light side versus dark side, the appearance of love versus fear, peace versus war, and they switch sides. Because I remember when I was younger, I was a lifelong Democrat. Now, you couldn't pay me to be a Democrat. It certainly couldn't pay me to run on for the Democratic Party. Couldn't pay me any amount of money in the world right now, because I was a Democrat because they, in my minds, yes, they took some things too far, but they were the champions of civil liberties, right? They were the ones that were advocates of free speech. They were talking about civil rights and allowing each person to just kind of be who they are, and to keep the government out of it. And now it's almost like, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, they've switched sides. The Republicans are the ones talking about civil liberties. Republicans are the champions of the First Amendment now, and the Second Amendment, which I fully believe in, because the Second Amendment is what defends the First Amendment, right? That's another show. We're definitely going to get into that one too. But yeah, they have switched sides almost. Yeah, Dave, like, I know Dave agrees, because those of you that don't know, Dave is my husband. And so Dave and I have had this conversation before. It is weird. It is like they have switched sides. Cindy saying, I was a lifelong Republican, now an independent. Yeah. You could take on what I use if you want. I call myself a constitutionalist. I am one who's of the Constitution. So that's what I believe in. The Constitution of this, the Republic of the United States. Thank you, Tim, for mentioning that earlier. That is true. The Democrats like to throw it in there and make it sound like we're a democracy, but we are a republic. We are a constitutional republic. They were all about the little guy. They were. No longer, right? The Democrats have started more wars in the past several presidencies, and they have taken away more civil rights than I think I've seen in my lifetime. It's absolutely crazy. And most of that is the civil rights issues. No, that's not true. I was going to say most of it is during Biden. Biden has done quite a lot of damage in that realm, I believe, but it's not just him. It has been others. Let's see. I was a Dem till 2017, wrote in Bernie. I love the craziness of Bernie. Bernie had just a certain charm. He's just like your wacky old uncle. I don't agree with his political views a lot of the time, but I do adore Bernie. I think he was just great. Dorothy, I'm just confused. That's your political party. I think that's most of us. Most of us probably fall into the confused category now. The Constitution was written when we fired muskets and traveled on horses. Well, that is true, but they also wrote it in general terms so that it can be applied to today as well. Chris is saying, I have flip-flopped over time, now stuck in the middle, all a lie. So, well, that's true too. Let's see, confused for sure. Yep. Let's see. Dorothy says both sides have contributed heavily to the situation we find ourselves in right now. Yep. I say vote all of those currently there, replace them with the working people of this country. There are some decent politicians. I've got to say in the past, maybe 3 years, I've noticed some really interesting politicians coming into play. Are they perfect? Nope, because they're human beings. But there are people like, well, I mean, I know everybody kind of in this community for sure knows Tim Burchett, right? You may not agree with all of his politics, and I've got to honestly look more into Tim because I don't know all of his take on a bunch of political issues, but I do like the fact that he speaks out and he's trying to get to the truth about certain topics. Matt Gaetz, I kind of love Matt Gaetz because if you sit and watch the oversight committee hearings like I do, Matt asks a lot of very pointed questions, and he asks a lot of very good questions, and he asks them based on the Constitution. I'm thinking is he a lawyer? I think his background must be a lawyer, the way he asks questions. It seems like it. If not, he should have been. But I really like him. I think he's done some really good things. Luna has been really interesting too. She's fighting a lot for kind of civil rights. So there's a lot of really interesting things, a lot of interesting people out there right now. It's a mix. You definitely have some of the old guard, right, that are very much behind the closed doors deals people. But there are also others now that are coming in to both the House and the Senate who are like, nope, no, we're going to talk about this. And I don't care what we talked about before this started. If we have this debate and I change my mind, that's what I'm doing. And I think that's great to hear. What did Ghost Dragon say? Sometimes they hide the truth in the lies. Sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. Bernie is that old man you take on walks and sit him down and he will talk to a tree for 3 hours and then bring him in before dark. He's so great though. He's great. He's the kind of guy that seems like he'd have stories, right? For hours, stories for days to tell you about. And it would be interesting. For sure. I guess I know when I've overstayed my welcome. Guess I'm the YOY club now. No. All points of view are welcome here. Absolutely. It's okay. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not going to be upset about it if you don't. That's what discussion is for, right? I love it. I love a good political discussion. I think we need more of them, especially like I said, if we can stay calm and just talk about it versus getting in our emotions. Love a good political discussion. You don't have to agree with anything that I'm saying. And term limits reform would be a goal. In whose term? Which term limits are you discussing? Are you referring to, Dorothy? I'm voting for the rock in my front yard or my 90-year-old pop. Either one would definitely do a better job. Yep, I agree. DB property, nobody, all good. You're good. No worries. All right. Oh, thank you, Ghost Dragons. Hit that like button. That would be great. And if you're new here and you enjoy a good conversation, hit that subscribe button. Just try it. Give it a try. If you don't like it, you don't have to stay. You can leave. But why not try it out, right? We're good for a conversation here. Oh, senators and Congress people who stay for decades. Well, they're voted in. They are voted in. They do have terms. They do have limits. But you're saying they should only be limited to like the president is limited to only 8 years and no more. Is that what you mean? That what you mean, Dorothy? But yeah, I mean, I guess one could argue for that or against it, I suppose. Oh my God, I just sounded like Kamala Harris. Oh, and her word salads. One could vote for or against it. Limited to 2 terms, like, oops, sorry. Limited to 2 terms. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Does anyone else like paying double for groceries? Who remembers the dollar menu? Or the dollar store? Dollar Tree when it was actually $1? That's what I'll tell my grandkids about, sadly. Yeah. I posted and it's gone, didn't show on my TV and then disappeared from the chat. Said that replacing politicians won't end the Pentagon secrecy in the algorithm. Oh no, I didn't see that went away. I'm so sorry. Okay, well we see it here. Replacing the politicians won't end the Pentagon secrecy and the algorithm. No, that is true. You're absolutely right. Military, whole different beast, right? Whole different beast going on there. Maybe another show that we've talked about them quite a lot here, but you're absolutely right on that one. Cindy saying absolutely for term limits in Congress. Dollar Tree is still a better deal. Yeah, on some things. There's some things Walmart's a better deal. Anybody else like watching the Dollar Tree video? Total tangent. I love seeing what people get. It's great. I know the venerable 5 and dime stores must be ancient history by now. LOL. Yeah. I mean, have you guys seen this? I should find it. If I can find it, I'll post it somewhere, maybe on like my ex profile. There was somebody who's saying that, and I think it was somebody within the government. I want to say it was either a media person or someone from the Democratic Party. I know it was one of the two, basically saying that we, the public, we, the people, are kind of stupid and we're just bad at managing our own money because if we weren't, we wouldn't be griping so much about inflation because we're basically just spending beyond our means and not even thinking about the fact that the prices have gone up. It's almost impossible not to like spend beyond your means at this point in time, right? Like they didn't even mention that. They're just like, no, you guys are just really bad at budgeting. Like, maybe you should take a look at that before griping about inflation. I was like, are you for real? Sadly, they were. She was. I'm pretty sure it was a woman. But anyway, if I can find it, I'll post it so you guys can see it. I was just like, whoa. Yes. Oh my God, how out of touch can they be? Clearly, very out of touch. Well, it's about spinning it, right? It's spinning the narrative. Yeah, Dave said he's heard that too. The prices at the grocery store are absolutely ridiculous. They are. They absolutely are. They have no clue, right? And then how funny is it that they were saying before when gas prices started going up, well, the president can't control the price of gas. It depends on this and that and that. And oh, right before an election year, all of a sudden the prices of gas are going down. And thanks, Biden. Look, how dumb do they think that we actually are? How dumb? Cindy, it's funny how I have no debt except a mortgage that will be paid in full in 2 years. Oh, well, that's good. That's awesome, Cindy. Good for you. Prices everywhere are ridiculous. Absolutely. Yeah, right. It's hard to go to McDonald's and cost you $10. I know. Do you remember? Or even Taco Bell? You could have a feast at Taco Bell for like $3 before. Now it'll cost you like $20 to get the same things. Taco Bell. It's not like we're talking about gourmet food, but crazy. So yeah, I saw that and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I just changed it and that first posting isn't in my chat log. Oh, that's weird. And butter is up 300% over 3 years ago, but they say inflation is 3%. Yes, exactly. Thank you. It's insane. The problem is people buy their BS, so apparently half of America's David Hurley. Be nice. Not half of America. It's probably most of it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's just, you know what it is? I don't think people are dumb. I think it's a couple of different things. I think that people are busy trying to live their lives. And so when they see something on the news, unless they're of the mindset of, I don't know that I can believe this, or they've looked into it in any way, shape, or form and realized that, well, it's not always true. They're just they kind of take it, right? Because the media used to be, it was supposed to be unbiased. It's supposed to be reporting the news without a bias, right? They're not that way anymore, unfortunately. But I think some people are still of that mindset. And there was another point I was going to make. I said two things. And then I think the other thing is that I think people there's a part of people that still wants to believe that at least some part of the government is there to help them and be there for the people. And sadly, I don't know that that is the case. But I think some people are just still hopeful that maybe they might be. But yeah, you got to do your research, everybody. And it sounds like everybody here is already doing that. Helen, I can't afford heating when I came out of surgery. It gets real. Oh no, after my probably dog cost a fortune. I've been told I need to get my priorities right. That's terrible. I'm so sorry, Helen. That is absolutely terrible. Yeah, Chris is saying I don't eat out now, but spend so much more on groceries every week. It's crazy. Like, how can you the Klaus, you will own nothing and be happy. Klaus Schwab. Keeping up in the Joneses world. I don't even know if it's the Joneses. It's crazy though, isn't it? It's kind of like there's so much gaslighting going on in the government that they're like, okay, we're gonna make inflation go, but we're gonna say it's you. Sorry, learn to budget better because you're not doing a great job. Like, these people are crazy. They come home from work. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. People just want to live their lives, right? A lot of times they just don't want to have to think about these things. And I understand that. They come home from work and just want to know a football score and take care of the kids and what's for dinner, right? And that's how it should be. But unfortunately, with all of the corruption that's going on, unfortunately, we can't be that way anymore. Yeah, that's true. It's like you pick the channel that goes with your reality and stick to it out of comfort and sense of validation. Yeah, absolutely. Most just don't have their eyes open, and totally agree with Lynn. Folks out there just trying to survive in this world, too busy to look around. Yeah. Agreed. Helen, that should never happen with the amount of taxes that we pay. Well, you're over in the UK, so I don't know. Do you guys pay more taxes than we do? I think you do, right? It's absolutely crazy. But everything is outrageously expensive. That's what Cindy said. And she is right. Oh, energy. UK energy is outrageously expensive. Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. So Dave is triggered. Breathe. I know. It's tough. Everybody's talking about how expensive everything is. T-word taxes. Yes, that triggers Dave Hurley. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, goodness. Okay, guys. Well, you know what? Hold on before I go, because I'm going to do a show tomorrow. Oh, it looks like it starts at 10 a.m. There is a Senate hearing on, let's see, what is the title of it? It's on foreign relations, but where's the title of it? Hold on a second. It's the Foreign Relations Committee. The future of arms control and deterrence. So that is tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm going to live stream that. So if you guys would like to watch that or just check in and see how it is, I'm going to have that going. You know, maybe we'll do some commentary here and there, but I'm going to have that going so we can all sit back and watch it together or listen to it as you're working. Because who doesn't like to, you know, talk about the future of arms control and deterrence? Who doesn't? It's a good one. Can't make it tomorrow, but I'll try to watch later. All right. That would be great, Cindy. Like I said, I'm just going to really just be streaming the hearing. So if it's one that you're interested in, I know you're ex-military, so you might be. Accidentally clicked on that one. But I used to work 2 jobs and paid 40% in tax. Wow. working so much mucked up my health, and now electricity is too expensive for people receiving. It's terrible, isn't it? All right. Well, cool. You'll be here for that. Yay. All right. DB property maintenance. Sounds good. Can't wait to hear what you think about it. Yep. So that will be, I think it's 10 a.m. Eastern. Let me double check. It just says 10 a.m. I'm going to assume that's Eastern. But just check the channel. I will double check, and then I'll make a post later today setting that up. So, I think it's 10 a.m. Eastern. And yes, Chris on Mindforked. If you guys haven't checked out Mindfork, I know most of you have because we all know each other here. We're all friends. But she'll be having a Christmas party Thursday. If anyone wants to pop in, open StreamYard, and I am definitely going to try and be there if I can. What time is that again, Chris? Let me know in the chat, and I'll let everyone know. But yeah, if I'm able to, I should be able to, because I think you're going to be going on for a while. So I will definitely pop in and see you guys there and say hi. But Chris, what time is it? Yeah, Congress doesn't do anything before 10 a.m. Eastern. I know, right? That's where I need to go work. Congress. They have really good hours. Noon. Okay, so noon. So 2 Eastern. No, so 1 Eastern. Noon Central. So, okay. Cool. I could definitely make that. I will be there. So, okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. Oh, it's a Christmas party. I love it. Yes. 1 Eastern, 12 Central, 10 Pacific. Thank you, Dorothy. Lynn is having trouble with mathematics this morning. All right. So thank you guys so much. I will be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then we will go and see Chris on Thursday at 1 Eastern, 12 Central. And I enjoyed everything. I love seeing your comments. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to take you out with a Dave Hurley song that you haven't heard in a little while. It used to be, for those of you who've been with me for a while, it used to be my intro. So let's see if you remember it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Gold and my heart and soul shoes, and walk among the groups of two. It's not ideal, it's just how we feel. It's a shame we're easily amused. The only cure for this forward motion is to make emotion fly away. The water's not frozen. I see ripples rolling every day. Cast a stone and get a hardcore view. Catchphrase of the day is that it's true. There's no coffee talk and only one way to please. It's a shame